My Children is bringing you back? Huh?
Yeah, I taped it last week, and it's going to be on for two days. My particular story is going to be on for 2 days on the 5th and the 6th of September.
Oh.
But it was really fun to go back, and I got to meet a lot of the new people that are new to me who've been on the show, a few years, but I haven't been there. And it was a hoot, to see them, and they came to say hello, and even when they weren't working that day, I was so honored and thrilled. And of course, I had the pleasure of finally doing a scene with the great Susan Lucci, who plays Erica Kane.
Isn't she a sweetheart?
Oh, she is. Well, I've known her for years, but we never worked together before, so we have a fun scene at the beginning, and then of course I worked with Jill Larson, who plays Opal.
Yeah,
and she's great. Have you guys ever gotten hooked on a soap?
Oh boy, yes, I have.
Which one?
I like All My Children. I was a star on General Hospital once myself. A couple of.
Larry, I never knew that.
Yeah, that's this is Mike. That's Larry. I don't know.
Oh,
Larry.
I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
it's Mike Horn. What were you on? Were you a porcelain receptacle?
Oh, would you stop? I was the Port Charles newsman, and I also took payola from Blackie when he was getting Frisco's record played.
Wow.
And I had a crush on a maid, I think, named Verla Grubb, I believe, was someone that I really.
Grubb.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Verla Grubbs. That was my name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of make Opal look like Jackie Kennedy. I mean, she's really trashy. But it was fun to do.
Now, how did you get hooked, Carol, on soaps like that?
No, only All My Children. My kids were little, and we had a beach house that we would go to in the summer here in California, in Malibu. And they would run in at noon to have their, excuse me, that's my other phone, but don't pay attention if you hear it.
Okay. That's Nancy calling you on the other line.
Hello?
So anyway, they would run in and have their lunch in front of the television set at noon every day, come in from the beach and stuff. So I would go in with them and started watching it. Now, this has got to be 30-some-odd years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would watch, I got hooked, and then I would watch it when we were doing my show.
No way.
I
really?
would schedule my lunch around noon.
I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, around noon, so that I could keep up, because there were no VHS or TiVo or anything like that. Now I TiVo it every day.
Oh, that's cute.
Here's the sad part about that, Carolyn. We're glad you're back on there. Is that ABC has canceled.
I know. Just think it's awful.
You're the one that can bring it back, because
I doubt it.
My daughter, and she grew up watching it. She says, "Hey, this is the one thing in my life that was a constant. Was All My Children was on, like you're saying with your kids, and now it's like gone."
I know, but they're talking about getting it back on the internet.
I hope that's true.
Something like that, and then maybe if it takes, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but then maybe it could go to a cable channel on television, which would be great, because, I'm telling you, those actors are incredible, because it's like instant Lipton tea acting. They get a script, and there's no time to rehearse, really. And they do it, and I've seen some performances on All My Children that if they were on the big screen, they'd be nominated for an Oscar. They are so good.
That's good news. I never knew that, Carol.
Oh, they're wonderful. And then some of them have like 20 pages to learn overnight, and then they shoot it the next day.
But there's no teleprompters?
No.
Oh, my God, I would die.
No teleprompter, no cue cards, no nothing.
I thought wasn't there teleprompters a long time ago?
They used to have them, I think.
There might have been, but there weren't when I did it.
Wow.
No, you really had to. And if you screwed up, you still had to keep going, because they can't stop and get behind, because then, they wouldn't be ready for the next day. So you kind of have to worm your way out of it some way.
So you've got to really be good at improv.
They get improv and just memorization.
It was like the old live shows, right?
That's
Carol?
right.
Like the Lux video shows of
Right.
the NBC matinee theaters.
Oh gosh, those
I
were great.
remember those.
Kind of like Carol, like your old show. Nobody ever muffed the line on that program.
Are you kidding?
That was Tim Conway was. Oh, I think about him and I die.
Tim Conway never. Well, let me put it this way: we rehearsed all week, and we would tape our show on Friday. But we would tape 2 shows, one at 5:00, which we called the dress rehearsal in front of an audience, and Tim would do it according to how we had rehearsed all week. In other words, he would perform to the ink, as we said.
Yeah.
And then he would go to our director after the first pass and say, Dave, did you get everything? And Dave always did. He said, okay. So now on the air show, and we would have a different audience come in at 8:00. He said, instead of when I walk over to the window, say in the hotel sketch that we're doing, when I walk over to the window, instead of being on a waist shot of me, give me a full figure, give me head to toe at the window. Mm-hmm. That's all he would say.
Oh, no.
And then he would come up with a bit of business that nobody ever saw in rehearsal. And it would be so hysterical that would be what went on the air. And we could then bank a sketch, for instance, because he would go over. I mean, if it were supposed to be like a 5-minute sketch, it could run 12 minutes with him, which then enabled us, if we had done a sketch that week, to save it for another show.
Oh, that's great.
So
that's great.
Yeah, so we had just the best time, I must say. People ask me, well, don't you wish, you could do this again today? But it could never happen.
Why?
Because of
spontaneous.
The cost.
Yep.
Today, what we did, with 12 dancers and singers and guest stars and all those costumes and 28 musicians.
Wow.
Jeez.
I mean, an orchestra like you couldn't believe, headed by the great Peter Matz.
Right.
And then again, and all of that could never be done today. So, I'm getting up there in age, and I think when we talk about it, I wouldn't want to be around like now to do, because we could never do what we did. So I'm so grateful that my particular time, and Harvey's and Vicki, all of them.
And Steve Lawrence.
And Steve, oh God, he's so wonderful.
Yeah.
All of us. And, when we were on the air, at one time there were 9 variety shows.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
There were.
Yeah. Sonny and Cher, the Smothers Brothers,
You were the best.
Laugh-In, on and on and on. And, today it's nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Carol Burnett is with us. It is the PM show with the Manettis. That's right. You've heard about the Kardashians. CRN has the Manettis. Nancy and Larry, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I think one of them's getting married. Stay with us.